Everyone focuses on the cool gear that special operations guys get, the sexy MVGs, the big budget. But guess what? At the end of the day, those things do not win wars. What wins wars is people, right? And there's 5 truths that are ingrained in the special operations lifestyle and DNA of how we operate. They don't just shape combat, right? These things are applicable to life. They're applicable to business. They're applicable to leadership. So let's break them down and I'll tell you why. It's always tempting to think that you can get ahead by buying more stuff, right? Purchase your way into success or being good at something. But think about the kid who is playing Little League and has a $400 bat, but can't swing the bat and can't hit the ball. It doesn't matter, right? In my situation, I bought a nice expensive pair of golf clubs and I go out to the golf course and I absolutely suck. So soft truth number 1 is humans are more important than hardware. And that should not be something that we just give lip service to. We've all heard the saying, your network equals your net worth, right? And there's a lot of truth to who you surround yourself with and where that will get you in life. On another note, the humans are more important than hardware piece. Special operations is an all volunteer force, okay? You don't have to be there and you have to want to be there to stay there. So that is a huge differentiator between a special operations unit and any other unit out there, right? Is everybody that's there is there for a reason and wants to excel and wants to exceed the standard. Reminder, do like and subscribe to the channel. All right, soft truth number 2, quality is better than quantity. And this seems very basic, right? This seems like a no-brainer in all aspects of life, but here's how it's relevant in the special operations realm. You take a 12-man operational detachment alpha full of Green Berets, full of guys who are elite, are motivated and want to be there and want to excel and do the right thing. And you can multiply the power of 12 men into hundreds of soldiers. So you take that 12-man team, you put them somewhere where they're required to work autonomously to train up a partner force or an indigenous force, and you can spread the impact of 12 guys, 12 quality guys over hundreds of soldiers to make the mission happen, to impact the battlefield on a greater level. So that's where quantity does not beat quality, right? Quality beats quantity, because if those 12 guys are not quality individuals and each person carries their weight and does their job, then the mission does not happen and is not as effective. Soft truth number 3, soft cannot be mass produced. Soft special operations forces cannot be mass produced. Think about all these selections and all the qualification courses and things that have to happen in order to create a special operations soldier. Whether it's BUDS, whether it's the Q course, whether it's Green Platoon for the 160th, it doesn't matter. These things take time, and throughout that process, there are people constantly getting washed out. So it is not something that is able to be mass produced, because if you do that, that results in lowering the standards and lowering the quality of people that actually make it through the pipeline. So when we say soft cannot be mass produced, it's a truth because of all the reasons I just laid out. It takes time, it takes money, it takes resources, and it takes the right people to get through a pipeline. So that's a very crucial aspect right there, right? And this can be translated into regular life, where if you're a CEO and you're hiring somebody just because you need to hire somebody and it's not the right person, then that's just going to create turnover and short-term turnover, and you're going to have to train them again and train a new person again once they wash out. So quality is better than quantity, right? Soft truth number 2 leads into soft cannot be mass produced. Truth number 4, you can't create competence after an emergency. Here's a simpler way to put it. You want to be proactive versus reactive, and you want to have the right people that are able to be proactive versus reactive. Now, a lot of times in the special operations world, this comes down to mission planning for contingencies, and knowing what can go wrong, right? Because as we know, what can go wrong will go wrong, and not always the case, but more often than not, things go wrong and nothing ends up being perfect. So how do you react, and how do your people react and those around you react when something does go wrong? When shit hits the fan, are they freaking out, or are they calm, cool, collected, because they have already thought it through in their mind of what they're going to do? This is the same thing in life. Life is always throwing contingencies at us, always throwing curveballs at us. And how do you react to those? The soft truth enables that and embodies that if you are proactive and you can take a second and think instead of reacting in the moment, that changes everything. That changes the entire outcome of the situation. Soft truth number 5, special operations forces require support. Now, this may be the most underrated soft truth out there, life truth out there, business truth out there. Because when I look back to my time in the 160th as a special operations Black Hawk pilot, I couldn't have done my job without the maintainers that kept my aircraft flying. I couldn't have done my job without the air traffic controllers who kept the aircraft safe. I couldn't have done my job without the refuelers who forward deploy and allow us to complete the mission. There are countless examples where the support of special operations comes into play and makes the mission happen behind the scenes. They don't get the credit for it. We get the credit for it. But in reality, we cannot do our jobs without them. And this is the same thing in life and in the business world, especially in the business world. CEO can get all the credit he wants, but he is not getting the job accomplished without a competent team underneath him, supporting him and making all the day-to-day things happen. So that's soft truth number 5, and one of the most underrated soft truths that we can relate to life in general. All of these truths are great to carry over into life. Like I said, it's not just applicable to combat and special operations. This is applicable to being a parent. This is applicable to being a husband, wife. This is applicable to being a boss or just going to work and doing your job and being a competent human being. All of these are applicable. So here's the key takeaway. If you want to build something elite in your own life, whatever facet we just talked about, think of what you want to build that's elite. Focus on people, on training, on planning, and focus on the long game and what you want to get out of what you're doing. Get out of the day-to-day and focus on the ultimate vision. That and these 5 truths will help you get there.